Just for reference, I wanted to let you know that I listened to a very specific part of the. That's why I need to know, just to make sure what I had said, to make sure that I was properly prepped. And having listened to my own voice, I hate it. It's so bad. Yes. Well, yeah, the voice that you hear inside is with all the reverb, right? From your skull and all that jazz.
Hmm.
Anyway, I much prefer mine. Than I sound like a fucking stoner. I sound like a yep. I also sound like a nerd. I sound like a softy nerd. A softy stony stoner. Anyway, are you recording? Have you recorded all of that? I'm so happy. Excellent. What do you guys remember?
Yeah, we got pranked. Got punked.
Y'all got pranked by a follower of the Honk Mother.
Yo.
Seems legit.
How
Ugh.
dare
I also yawned as a result.
How dare you?
So you guys had managed to, yeah, you guys had sat down, you had asked her a whole bunch of questions, clarification on a whole bunch of stuff. You had borrowed, um, you borrowed some stuff as well, a couple of books that she let you keep as one of them. Yep, yep, that one as well. And you happen to have, if I remember correctly, Bundle of Scrolls of the Honk Mother. Do you remember what that was about?
Sorry, repeat that?
Bundle of Scrolls of the Honk Mother.
Am I the one who has those?
Nope, it's Eric.
No. Yeah. I have the manuscript on the side. And the book on how to start your own cult for idiots.
So here's the fun thing. A lot of the stuff that I had given you guys from the previous sources of lore were unfortunately written a little bit everywhere.
Okay.
So that means that a lot of the stuff, like the notes that you guys have, is just the notes that are on that. I'll have to eventually either go through the recordings, and so what I'm doing now is I'm writing down for each of the lores like what they actually give, because I know that if you guys hold on to it and then ask me later, I'm going to be like, oh fuck, I already said it at some point. And with the sheer volume of all the different information that you guys are going to be getting through all of the lores and shit, it's going to be really hard to track all of that down.
Understandable.
Yeah, that's one of it. Shh, don't tell anybody. Cool. So you guys had left the mansion. This was after having done. And just to remind you, for the bundle of scrolls of the Hunk Mother, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but at least in one of them is a scroll that shows you how to summon a clown. One
Yes.
was for that. Um, Kiki, if I remember correctly, you have the manuscript that had given you a right
Yep.
and had taught you
Manuscript
how
is
to
silent one.
summon a silent one, a silent watcher.
Yes.
Cool. So you guys happen to get out of the mansion, all three of you, and you notice that Manuelo immediately gives you guys an excuse and says, "Contact me if you need me, but keep me informed. I gotta go do something personal. And he heads off. This has nothing to do with Jason not being here. Nothing.
Text message, messenger, Discord, and I texted his girlfriend also. Yeah,
I hope
hopefully they're
they are
fine.
okay as well.
Oh, wait, I just got a response. Uh, oh, he won't be able to play. He's got a headache.
That's
Yeah.
fine. Probably. Yeah, no problem. Anyway, so Manuelo heads off into the distance, into the sunset. And the two of you having also, I believe you guys exchanged numbers last session.
Uh, let's say we exchange a meeting spot because I don't know how to contact anyone. I mean, I guess I could use a payphone. Yeah. People don't usually contact me at all. Okay. Uh, well, uh, mm, uh, maybe we could meet. Emmanuel's already gone, right?
Yes.
Okay. Um, because I thought the plan was to meet at his hotel room last time. Well, okay. Well, I do have a place I can stay, and you guys can come. It's not the best, but it's very damp. It's got beds. It's understandable. I get it. Uh, hmm. But if it comes down to it, listen. Look, do you have paper or something to take notes? Okay, I'm yeah. I'm gonna write down the ad. He's gonna write down the address of where the his old hideout is. Yeah, that's pretty close. It's downstairs. You might, it's like mm, people call it sewers, but really it's not that bad. I mean, the address is the building right next to the entrance. No, no, no. But it's the closest address to where I live. There's no actual address.
The
We don't
the
get mail.
address actually happens to go to an old utilities plant.
It's in a factory area. There's a lot of businesses there. Lots of smoke. So I go underground, less smoke underground. More water, better. No, no, nobody wants to go in the sewers. Oh, no, no. I'm very sneaky. They don't see me. I come out at night mostly. Also, I'm always disguised, as you can tell. Very inconspicuous. Yeah, I don't get out in the sun much. That's probably why I have that color. Anyway, if you want to pass by, just get there. Yeah. Alan. Yes, Alan is human, mostly, unfortunately. Hopefully, we'll change that soon. No, no, human weak. Human not useful. Humans can't breathe underwater, you know? That's not very cool. I want to get stronger, more powerful, be able to breathe underwater. That's step one. Well, Alan used to be like you, a human, worked for big company. It was boring. But then I made friends with other people, like minded individuals, is how we call them. Yes. Uh, and they invited me into their group and they showed me to their lord, and their lord gave me boons. But then they disappeared. I don't know where they went. And now I'm left like this. I'm not completely what I want to be, only half. Yes, halfway through. Sure. I didn't have a time. Yeah, I didn't have a time to complete the ascension. Everybody disappeared. I don't know why. They I don't know. Maybe I overslept and that's why they left. They maybe forgot about me. Like that movie where the parents, they're bad parents and they forget their kid twice 2 years in a row at home alone. Yeah, I think it's kind of like that. But I'm sure they didn't mean it. Accidents happen, but I don't know where they went. Yes, I'd like to know what happened. Well, hold on. I didn't actually think about
Nope.
that. uh, give me 1 second. Uh, there was this guy. His name was Peter. His name was Peter, and no, Peter R. He was always very sneezy. Um, he we didn't exchange name much, but I remember Peter. Peter was nice, very sneezy, like I said. It was annoying, especially at night when you try to sleep. Now that I think about it, I that makes sense. The last night I slept better than usual because he didn't sneeze at all. And when I noticed that it was too late, he was already gone. Oh well, if my place is on the way, you can drop me there. Okay, well, it's on the edge of the city, so you can just drop me there.
It doesn't seem to be too far off of the way.
Uh-huh. Tarp, okay. Oh, I get it. Okay, no problem. I hop on.
You guys go and you drive, and you happen to go and you pass by, and you get a very good idea of where it is he actually lives. It seems to be an old water treatment plant right next to the sewers. There's an access to the sewers, at least. And the area looks fairly abandoned. And sure, there are like some few factories that seem to be working, but there's not that much of a hubbub going on most throughout the day and towards the night, which at this point it is night. So you manage to drop off Alan and you head on home. And with a weary sigh, or at least I assume, you get back home. And unless you guys are going to do anything, we'll start for the next day.
Mm, While I'm at, yeah. While I'm back home,
Hmm.
uh, I mean, I've already investigated, I assume, but I could investigate some more, see if I can't find any clues as to where the people went.
You've already investigated for sure,
Right.
but
Okay.
you haven't managed to find anything extra about that.
Okay.
This is partially because you've been there for quite a while.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
However, you do have some time to start investigating the how to start a cult.
Yes. I do want to do that.
So that's how you'll spend your night.
Yes. I'll be
Alex, did you
reading
have
until
anything
it's
that you were going to
bedtime.
be reading into? Yeah, no problem. Nope. No restrictions. So, say if you wished to, say, pick up an old handgun or even a shotgun of some sorts, absolutely. Feel free. Were there any particular things that you were hoping to grab from your place? Okay. Yeah, no problem. Infiltration tools, you mean like stuff to pick locks? Okay. Yeah, sure. Iki, you can feel free to do the same, by the way. Should you have stuff
Um,
that would be relevant, that you think would be relevant to your past, that you would have as extra equipment that might help you?
I'd like to see if there's still like a sacrificial knife lying around that I can use, just in case, you know.
Something that would be like from your old.
Yeah, from my old place, kind of like a dagger of some kind.
Give me a minute then. Yep,
Also, I'm gonna put the fresh fish in the fridge.
you can add to yourself a ritual knife.
All right, fantastic. Thank you. But I'm never gonna use it because I use my claws anyway.
I mean, that's fine. You'd
It's
be
just
surprised on whether or not you'll end up using it or not.
yeah, exactly. Let's see. Can I try? Even though I'm on my own, it might be dangerous. Can I try to summon another silent one to be
Sure.
like my bodyguard?
Absolutely. All you got to
Does
do
that
is fulfill all of the requirements.
right? Does that mean I have to sacrifice another memory?
So, yep, you would have to sacrifice a memory or something that could stand in as a memory.
Okay, I will go into the ritual area.
Okay.
Um, because it's large enough, and I can use the floor to make the circle. Um,
So, you know what? Actually,
yeah, what's up?
we're going to head right there to your
Oh,
place.
cool. All right.
Go ahead and drag your name onto the map. I did not. This was a free asset, and I'm fucking thankful it exists. And just before the game, I found it, and I sent it to Kiki. I'm like, "Is this your place?"
It's fucking perfect. I love it.
You, Alex, you had literally jumped into the conversation. That literal conversation, you jumped in like a minute later, like in the other voice cam. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, this is a perfect spot. Actually, I'll go there and do it.
It was free. I'll gladly send it to you if ever you intend to use it. Mhm. So, Kiki.
Yeah. Oh,
Mhm.
yeah. Sorry. I wanted to ask. The memory that I'm using, is it gone forever?
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah. So be careful what you choose
right. Right.
because eventually what's going to happen is that it's going to start chipping away at your backstory.
Holy shit, that's scary. That's fucking scary. Holy
And
shit.
I did mention it either has to be a memory or a stand-in for a memory. And that's something that you'll manage to figure out maybe later. For for the moment.
Oh shit, can I try to use the knife as the stand-in for a memory?
I mean, you can certainly try.
The classic sentence. I'll try. I'll
So
definitely try.
if you remember for the ritual, you need a
Yes.
memory,
Right.
you need
I'm gonna use
ingredients
the chalk of the silent.
as the ingredient.
Yes, as the ingredient.
Okay.
Gonna use some of the chalk.
Life
Um,
is going to be you.
yes, I'm gonna be acting, miming, letting somebody in. Um, oh wait, we don't. There's no ambience.
How do you get the ambience?
Fuck, I don't know. There's no ambience of the Silent Father here. Oh, hold on. What do I have on me?
So going over, you
Okay.
know that you're going to need for the ritual for the rites to work.
Uh huh.
You're going to need a mixture of things. It's going to be those things, but
Yeah, ingredients times fast ambience
at least one of them has to have the aspect of at
of
least
the
one of them
silent.
has to have
Yeah.
the aspect of the Silent Father, and another one has to have the aspect of knock, not knock, of wounds.
Yeah, the aspect of wounds, I remember Manuelo doing it. He cut open his hand to make like a wound. So I
Mhm.
know I have to do that after doing my miming. But uh, how am I gonna simulate the ambience? I mean, I can try to be as silent as possible. Um, you know what? All of the white silent chalk and the black silent chalk that I have, um, I'm gonna put it like around the circle, kind of like how it was in the room. You know what I mean?
Say it again.
Like in the Silent Father's room, there were crystals, and I gathered some of them, right? So the ones that I have, I'm gonna spread them around the circle to try to simulate an ambience of the Silent Father. Does that make sense?
You go and you try, and you get the impression that it's not working.
Hmm. What am I missing here? Can I try to roll something to remember if I can remember what I'm missing?
You can, yeah, go right ahead. Anytime that you feel stuck or anything like that, this goes for everybody. You can spend 3 points of intellect to try and recall In Cypher, this is normally something that's used to give you a hint
Oh,
from the GM. I use it
that's
as either recalling or um, trying to glean information from what you already know.
okay. I'll do that. It's expensive though. I don't have a lot of intellect
It is
points.
indeed expensive.
So I'm trying
So,
specifically to find a way to recreate the ambience for the ritual.
intellect
It's
is not
not?
the strong point of the group.
Oh damn.
That's okay. That's perfectly okay and was perfectly on purpose. I think the person with the most is Shima. Yeah, because Shima, I think, had chosen a speaker. Yes, and a speaker has intellect as a prime stat, as a higher stat than the rest.
Yeah, speaker's basically a bard.
It's
Very
like an
roughly.
it's like an adept light. Anyway, so thinking back onto what was going on, you realize that when you had done this spell, there were two ambiences.
The Honk Mother and the Silent Father?
There was one of the Silent Father. There was none of the Hunk Mother. There was one of the Silent Father, and there was one of Knock, and it wasn't there before, and it only happened after Manuelo had stabbed himself in the hand. Yes,
Oh, okay, okay.
I
Okay,
said
so
Knock again. So here's the thing. All right, so fun fact: a lot of this is very heavily based on Cultist Simulator,
okay.
and one of the aspects, like that's where the whole thing of aspects happen. And so all sorts of different things have tags and their aspects and they're related, right? And one of them is knock, and knock is being used. Sorry, wounds is being used exactly like knock, which means to be able to pass through dimensions and shit like that,
I see, I see, I
like
see. Okay.
openings to other worlds and shit like that. Anyway,
Knock, yeah, like knocking on it. Okay, yeah, I
yeah,
get
exactly.
it.
So wounds.
So if the wound, the aspect, the ambience of wounds is generated by cutting open my hand, the aspect of the Silent Father should theoretically work if I'm doing the miming. Does that make sense?
Potentially, from what you remember, you're pretty sure the ambience of the Silent Father was happening because of the spell.
It was already there.
It was there.
Hmm.
And it was not there when you guys had broken um, the circle.
Right. But
Or
we
when the
still.
circle was broken, it wasn't there. When the circle was remade, it suddenly was there.
Well, that's why I'm trying to spread the crystals around
Yeah.
because, well, the chalk to try to recreate, attempt to recreate the ambiance that was there. Um, since it's the best thing I can think of doing, I'm gonna focus on that. And I
Okay.
gotta find the. I'm gonna do the same ritual that we did, except for the wound. I'm gonna be the one cutting open my hand and putting my
Okay.
hand in the circle.
How do you do it?
Uh, okay, so the memory that I'm gonna use, that I'm gonna focus on,
Hmm.
um, it's gotta be a memory of something supernatural. I'm trying to think something I could let go that doesn't fuck me over too much. Uh, I'll see that kind of that's not too bad. Yeah, the first time that I remember seeing my fingers being webbed when I woke up.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, because there's other steps to like my transformation. So I assume by sacrificing one of them, it's not hopefully not a big deal. Listen, this is expensive sacrificing this memory. I hope he doesn't die right away like he did last time. Which, by the way, I should have asked Meredith to summon me a new one. Because, she's the one who killed him. That was kind of bullshit. I want my Pokemon. Abominations.
So,
Yes.
what are you planning to do for the chalk?
So, a piece of the chalk, because I have several pieces, right?
Yep.
I'm gonna use one of the pieces as as an ingredient.
Okay.
So that's -1. But then I have 3 more that I'm not gonna. Hopefully, I'm still gonna have after this, but I'm just gonna spread them around the circle, equal distance from each other, to to like simulate having like the ambiance, making crystals grow. I'm gonna try to arrange it like that,
Okay.
and then to continue the ritual, I'm gonna do the same thing that I did before. I'm gonna do the rite of silent introduction,
Okay.
where while focusing on my memory, I will pretend to let someone in. I'm gonna mime letting someone in.
Okay.
I'm gonna
Would you
gesture
like
that.
to would you like to use, I believe you guys have it as a skill now, correct?
Drugs, drugs.
No, not the glimpse of true sight, but the other one.
I don't think I have the other one.
The the detect ambience. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I
Yeah.
don't think I have detect ambience.
Uh,
We all have
you,
it.
you guys, yeah, you guys had learned how to do that, and it was explained to you afterwards
Oh, okay.
with Meredith.
Meredith.
Yeah. So you can add it, like put detect ambience if you want.
Okay. Okay, there we go.
And you guys also have um, actual true sight because Meredith explained how to do actual true sight. However, that one you're going to put with. Do you have an option? That use action. Okay. I don't know if it should be rather in a I guess it should still be a special ability. Put true sight, but untrained. With like untrained in parentheses.
Uh,
Yes. So glimpse of true sight is you doing essentially true sight before just a fraction of a second. It's what you guys learned from Oars the first time. How he managed to rope you guys into the whole occult, everything. You guys figured out how to detect ambience by doing the glimpse of true sight with your eyes closed. And then Meredith explained that if you manage to hold a glimpse of true sight as long as possible to try and really open your eyes and and see things for what they truly are, you'll get more than just visions. You'll see stuff for what they truly are. But also warned you guys that that it takes practice. It's not something that's going to be um, it's not something that you guys have practiced, and so you might get it, you might not get it, and that it's also extremely dangerous on depending on what you're looking at. Exactly. Yeah, like you'll go blind, mad, or etc. if you do this while looking at a deity.
oh Jesus. All right. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. All right.
Cool. So,
So
considering that,
while I'm doing the ritual, can I
yep,
do detect ambiance to see that
you can do it to see whether or not you've before you do the ritual, like after you've done everything, like stab
before I
yourself in the hand and
sacrifice my
everything.
memory?
Yes, exactly. You can do that to try and see if you've managed to get the correct ambiences.
Okay. Yes, I'll do that.
Okay. So as you manage to go and you start to detect the ambience, as you have done it, you don't see an ambience of the Silent Father. So you know that your arrangement of crystals isn't working out the way you want it to. You do, however, have two ambiences. One of knock Yeah, thank you. One of wounds.
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna put in my
Mm,
notes wounds
Knock
slash
equals
knock.
wounds. Yes,
Yeah.
that's fine. One of wounds,
Uh-huh.
and another of you don't have a word for it, but you remember it being referred to by your old friends as the deep.
Right. It's unfortunate I don't have the ritual for that. That'd be cool.
Do you continue on with the ritual?
No, I will stop the ritual. I will not waste my memory. And I will not waste my ingredients.
You retain your memory.
All right. Uh, all right. You know what I'm wondering? I'm wondering if for some reason Alan became a full deep one, would he be the one being summoned if somebody summons a aspect of the deep creature?
A little bit.
Like that'd be his job. Alan's gonna sigh disappointment. And while he's focusing on the ambiances, he's gonna try to focus to find the place in the entire uh, sewer base where the ambience of the deep is the strongest.
Okay. How are you doing this?
I'm gonna be like,
Are you using
"S-
glimpse or are you using the ambience? Are you using a mixture of both?
uh, I, mm, I guess both. Yeah, both would be better. I want to scan the whole area. I'll be honest with you. I'm still trying to detect. I'm still trying to understand the difference between the glimpse,
Okay.
the
And
true
ambience?
sight, and the ambience.
Glimpse is you look at something. So you visually actually look at something. So
Okay.
say for example, you have a particular object and you want to figure out what aspect it is. You'll glimpse
Hmm.
of true sight that item.
Okay. While the ambience is like the vibe of the area.
Whereas the ambience is yeah. So like think of it like
Okay.
yeah, think of it like the smell of something. You know, the smell
Right.
is not like you're not going to look at it and be like, "That's what stinks," right? You can't tell necessarily that it's
Uh
the
huh.
pillow that happens to smell like ass, right?
Okay. I'm.
You have a sneaking suspicion because you look at it and you see there's a butt print on it, but that would be like the difference, right? You can
Hmm.
smell it in the air. It's a little bit everywhere. It's radiating. Sure, you'll get closer to it and it gets stronger, but so yeah, like think of the ambience sort of like a scent. That's a good analogy for it.
All right. That's good. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do detect ambience
Yep.
first to try to detect where the ambience is strongest in the base.
Okay. Are you moving around the base as you do this?
The whole base. I'm moving around
Okay.
the whole base, trying to find where it's most potent.
It seems to be equally strong wherever you go.
Okay, perfect, perfect. Um, then I'm gonna investigate, but I'm gonna do something I never did because I didn't have the opportunity, um the ability to do that. I'm gonna glimpse of true sight around the place.
Okay.
Uh, is that too vague? Do I need to?
I mean, are
Something
are
like
you
that.
looking at only everything that's around you?
Well, not like the shacks and everything, but yeah, I'm gonna try to find anything that like resonates with the deep,
Okay.
including the ritual knife that I picked up. I want
Okay.
to see if it's resonates.
Okay. How did you cut yourself? I assume it was with the ritual knife.
Yes,
Okay, cool. So you glimpse
it's
absolutely
the only thing
everywhere.
I had. So yes, that makes sense.
You start looking around and you notice that nothing around really seems to have be the source of this ambience until you look at the actual ritual knife and you notice that the ritual knife itself seems to have two separate um, aspects to it. The knife itself seems to have an aspect of wounds. And the blood on the knife seems to have the aspect of the deep.
Okay, I get it. Okay. All right. I see what you did there. That's clever. Uh, it makes a lot of sense. Um, can I find a mirror and glimpse a true sight myself?
Yes, you can.
I will do that just to double check.
You glimpse a true sight yourself, and you get a very strange. Wait, did I prep something for this? I might have. Did I please tell me I went and got? In before I just send Kiki a picture of a clown.
That would be funny.
This the
I,
one?
I read that recently. Like somebody did a perception check or investigation. No, I think it was perception, like in a room in D&D, and he got a natural 20, but there was nothing to detect. So the DM was like, for a split second there, you can see a couple of giants, and you see around you, and the floor is like a giant table, and you feel yourself being so small, and then it gets back to normal. You don't know what it was.
I don't have something.
That's okay.
Yeah, I don't have something. I'll have to get back to you with the vision.
It's all good, my guy.
So you do see a vision, and yes, it does seem to have some aspect of the deep, but it's not quite fully there.
Okay. I'm gonna nod in the mirror, and I'm gonna like, all right, like,
Should have known.
li- like I'm happy that I radiate that a little bit. Could be better, but that's okay. Um. All right. Um. With that, I'm gonna go in my room, my old room, on my old bed, my ramshackled bed, and I'm gonna read through the How to Start Your Own Cult book. And I'm gonna fall asleep doing that.
Okay. All right. Click that a couple of times, see if something good pops up while we're doing this. All right. So next day comes in. Oh my God! Some of this shit's fucking amazing. Ah, yes. Here we go. This is the shit. Hold on to your pants, geeky.
Oh, I'm holding on to them.
Gotta save it. Wait, where the fuck did it go? I literally just saved this. Ah, here it is. Ding. It's gonna be on Roll20. That is what you see, Kiki.
Hmm.
Yep. That's the vision he gets rushing
Where
to
did
his mind.
where did you share it?
On
Oh
Roll20.
Jesus, yes. Holy shit. I love it. Oh my god, I love it.
Cool. So the next day comes around after you've learned something about yourself. And there's a knock at the door. Presumably, Eric, you've decided to leave and come join him at his place. You can describe your morning however you like. Okay. You can start throwing out leads, but you don't have any particular ideas that are. And this is partially because I don't have a place ready, so to speak. But yeah, you can start sending out some leads. Was there anything in particular that you were looking for? Okay. And what is it that you would want to look for? Yep. Yep. Correct. You have a couple of ideas. Weird. Well, I mean, just state what you think are the right ways. I
All
mean,
of the
those are
above.
those are all of the above, really.
Or as ST ST would say yes.
You have a feeling that with the way that's with the way you're thinking, using logic, you have a feeling that is probably similar to those exclusive clubs. You know, the ones that they give like passwords out that change every week, and the location changes too, with that bartender who's behind the bar who just looks at you and knows what drink to make you. You have an idea it's something along the lines of that. Just that instead, it's roughly about the same, but the bartender doesn't serve you drinks, and it's usually someone with a knife asking for your blood.
Or your bones.
So yes, Alan, after a while you happen to hear some knocks.
Oh, visitors. Hmm. I'm gonna sneak around and sneakily check who it is before.
The entry is actually the ladder heads down. The actual entrance is a door that is like an unmarked door. You know, it looks like a utilities area, like the entrance to like where you might have like pump machines or shit in the back. So it's just like an unmarked door. It also doesn't have any sort of window or something. So you notice the door creak open just a little bit with a beady eye looking straight at you. Alan, you confirm that it's Eric.
Oh, good morning. I open the door. Did you have breakfast yet? No, unfortunately. Nobody came back during the night. I was hoping. Uh oh, I'm full on Fish Allen. Sorry, I should have changed my picture. Which by the way, I managed to generate a interesting looking version of Alan with AI. Uh, uh, oh no, it's actually kind of cute. A little bit. Looks fantasy like. It's not that scary. That's from putting my Hero Forge character into the generator. So it's the same pose.
Oh, actually, that's kind of cool.
Yeah. Strangely enough, most of the generation were a kid with a hoodie on, like a costume.
That's funny.
Yeah. Um, I hope you're hungry. I was just cooking fish for breakfast. All right. No. Morning, I assume. Okay. I woke up late. I was tired. I was up pretty late reading. This book is pretty great. And I wave around the book. How to start your own cult. Did I learn anything from that book or
You
anything, by the way?
learned a fuck ton.
Oh Jesus.
Are
Okay.
you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. I've compiled it into a very short list. A
Well,
very
I'm gonna
short list of one,
I'm
two,
gonna
three, four, five, six, 7 different paragraphs.
Jesus.
I'm joking.
While I'm eating the fish, I'm gonna
Yep.
be telling
You're gonna relay the
uh
information.
I'm gonna relay all the information that I've learned.
This book of yours has happens to be a slight encyclopedia on a lot of the basics, and so you can refer to it whenever you have questions.
All right.
But the base and the DM will kindly answer.
Fantastic.
Um, in short, the How to Start a Cult breaks down the different steps of things that you will be doing and what you will be hoping to do. Finding sources of lore would be one of them, and one of the most important that you'd be able to find at different old broken down bookshops. You could find it on the dark web, or you could also do it by summoning entities.
Okay, okay.
That then afterwards you're going to want to research those sources of lore, which will usually come in the form of books, movies, or dissertations and oral stories, as you could probably have figured out from my previous statement.
Mm-hmm.
You'll be looking to recruit members either off the streets, on websites like Craigslist or 4chan. And to do so, generally, you're going to be wanting to talk about actual lore, not the hidden stuff, but sorry, not the fake stuff, but the real stuff. And it's usually mentioned that this is risky, and depending on who you talk to, you want to make sure that it only gets to certain people. You don't want everyone to know.
Okay, so you use that sparingly.
But yeah, absolutely, exactly. You got to pick your audience,
Uh-huh.
and one of the ways that you can do so.
I know
Oh,
exactly
absolutely.
who I want to recruit as our first
Is it a fish?
no. I'm thinking of the guy on Craigslist that has JO crystals, and he wants to find people to recharge the JO crystals with him. But it's not gay
Love
or
it.
anything. It's like back to
Love it.
back.
Of course.
I feel that'd be a good start.
So
You don't know what a JO crystal is? Yeah, you gotta recharge it with your boys. You gotta JO together to recharge the energy inside the crystals. You don't JO each other, but you gotta be JOing in the same room.
next, I can't wait for you to tell me that jelking is also an important part of it.
Not that I know of, but it might be.
It's a terrible term. It's a terrifying term.
But you know what
Um,
JOing is, right?
I have no idea what jailing is.
It's jacking off.
Oh, of course, there it is.
It's a jerk off crystal.
Love it.
Oh, it's not a joke. It's an actual thing. Yes.
So recruit members. And one of the ways that is suggested is actually to appear as one of those, crazy people on the street, because the people that you want to attract are other crazy people, and as a result, people will either avoid you if they think you're crazy, right? But the right insanity will show up. This will usually get you some fodder. I'll put it that way. Expendable people. Sometimes you'll get some good people. Exactly. One of the other steps is that you'll be performing rites to achieve your various goals, and these can be anything from improving your gear, prepping for outings and summoning stuff to help you, as well as getting information. Rites are generally just a general purpose thing that happen. Very powerful effects.
Mhm.
Also, you guys are learning something new, and that it's important to earn respect amongst the community and earn something called favors, which at first you thought was the literal favor until you realized that no, favors or a favor is a currency. And it's the currency of the occult. And so you end up having bronze favors, silver favors, and gold favors, which both represent a currency that is usually used to get favors.
All right.
That you guys will also be able to create different esoterica and all sorts of different. You can end up creating your own artifacts if you manage to get all the right stuff. And yeah, that's about it. So that's what you learned. And you learned various general ways to go about this. So you have an idea that if you look in the right, if you start investigating at certain areas for like old bookshops, that you might be able to find like sources of lore that way. Or, you can scour the internet. Specifically looking on, old like 1990 sites and shit like that.
I see. Okay.
So that's what you learned from the Bible. Not the Bible. The
Yeah.
how to
How
start
to
your cult
start your own cult.
for dummies.
I see.
Yep, I did say 7 paragraphs. Love it. So, Alan, you managed to pass on all of that information to Eric.
Yeah. Would it be too much to quickly check the manuscript of the Silent One to see how to, if there's any mention of recreating? I forgot to check that. Recreating ambiences.
Nope, but you did find it in How to Start a Cult.
Oh, okay.
In the case of perform rites, you had realized that generating ambiences either tend to be used with other smaller rites that don't require ambiences, or in some cases, you have to destroy either summoned entities, you got to banish them back, which will leave an ambience, or destruction of ingredients can also cause ambiences to arise.
Destruction of ingredients, really?
Some of them, not all of them, but
Not all of them.
burning ingredients or breaking them can sometimes give off ambiences.
Okay.
You also learned that there's different levels of ambience.
Okay.
He didn't sleep last night. He didn't sleep much. Eric, were you looking at the Bible at all? I forget if you had what you had said to that. Because when I looked in your thing, it showed under artifacts. You would have read it during your downtime? Okay, excellent. Give me a moment just to switch to it. All right, you learned a decent amount from the aspect of wounds. You realized that there was a lot of differences between just the regular Bible and this one in particular. In particular, it was with regards of a lot of the passages that referred to Jesus in the regular Bible. They were replaced in this one by something called the prophet. And the prophet is described as a being whose wounds are portals to other places, whose blood is sacred and a source of power. And you also had found out that his blood was regularly used in all sorts of different rites, although the description of the rites doesn't seem to give you enough to recreate any of them. But it did seem to have a lot to do with either creating artifacts and also summoning beings, and that generally this was used a little bit everywhere. That's what you had managed to learn from the Bible of Wounds. Yep. 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 That is what you've learned. It took a lot of cross-referencing between an actual Bible and this to actually. Yeah, you're convinced that this one for some reason it's there's not a whole lot of reasons for it to be so close, but then suddenly there's this just has very strange mentions, and those are the important parts that came out. You also have an idea that there's more to this book, but you get the impression you don't have the knowledge you need to crack it yet. Okay, yep. And you would have seen a vision indeed. Do I have it already in the handouts?
A Jesus. Is it a Jesus?
This is a vision you would have gotten.
Whoa. That's cool. Is that the yellow brick road?
No.
No. Okay.
I was actually pretty close to using that as a vision if ever you guys use that on the actual thing. So I'm like, oh, it's got cobblestone, man. It fucking matches. But I'm like, the rest of it doesn't. And the other side of it isn't, um, you know, Honk Mother. So I'm like, no. All right. Um, Give me a minute because one thing that's going to be important for you guys is before he left, you, Alex, had taken a picture of the map from Meredith's room, the one that indicated that there was an artifact of wounds somewhere in Quebec. Yeah, you guys are in Ontario. Don't ask me exactly where. It doesn't truly matter. Sure.
Of course it is.
Um, Eric, you're pretty sure you know how to get there. Hmm. Otherwise, the choice is your guys as to how you want to continue from here. Whether you want to start trying to get people, whether you want to start looking, scouring the internet.
I'd like to try to find a bookshop, like a shady bookshop.
Okay. Okay, cool.
Yes.
So each of you are going to go and try to find yourself a shady bookshop.
Or we could look for one together.
Sure.
Okay, yeah, we can search separately.
I
That
mean,
never
I don't see any
ends
problem
wrong.
with two people walking down the street together.
Yes, yes, a fantasy novel.
He jumps straight to the details. I love it. So, how do you guys go about looking for this bookshop? Do you just randomly roam down particular areas? Are you gonna?
I wanna, I wanna go to like the old town. Comme le vieux port, genre de Montréal.
Okay.
Like
Yeah,
like
the
that,
equivalent.
the equivalent of that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
with like cobblestone paths and
Like
stuff like
the
that.
historic area.
Yeah, and I'm gonna try to find like the smallest little streets to see like the smallest shops, the one that are not like in plain sight. Yeah, exactly, exactly.
Okay.
And if I can't find any, I'm gonna ask around for like a used bookstore. It might not be on Google Maps. That's why I'm thinking we might have to look. Yeah. Okay.
Cool. So both of you, since you guys have given me excellent choices on how to actually go look for one of these, both of you give me an intelligence roll with that's not advantage. Two steps. Two steps in your favor. So you'll use it as not effort, but the other one.
Just plain intelligence. So a
It's
D20.
it's not. I don't think it's bonus. What was the
Hmm.
other one? There was bonus and there was asset. Unstated difficulty because you guys don't know it. Asset two.
We both wrong?
Yep.
I'm sorry. Where do I roll exactly? Do I have to create one? I- I-
Yeah. Just
Can you
click
click
on
on
intellect.
intellect?
Yep.
Oh, okay, fantastic. Okay. So with two steps in my favor. Two in assets. What difficulty do I put? A
Don't
none?
put unknown yet.
Okay. Assets two. Okay. Are you kidding me? A natural one?
That's fucking hilarious.
Bruh. I have no fucking clue what I'm looking
That's
for.
so funny. So you guys have gone to the historic area, except for some reason, both of you didn't question it when you realized that you're in the touristy area of the place, and so all the stores that you've went and gone into happen to be just, you know, quaint places that are looking to overcharge tourists. And so the two of you have actually managed to find like a place where you thought it was good, and you ended up buying something, only to realize that nope, it's garbage. It's just an old book.
Oh my god.
Yep. Turns out it was just fanfic. It's old, just old books. Fan fiction is actually one of the things that you guys will find on the internet that is sometimes good lore and sometimes terrible lore. Mostly terrible lore. Anyway, so you guys hadn't managed to find quite an old bookshop of sorts. Do you guys retry a different strategy, or
Oh man.
you can? A lot of them seem to be showing up as just regular bookstores.
While he
And
does that,
you have an idea that Alan was probably a bit right that the kind of bookstores you guys are looking for are probably not going to show up on the internet.
I'd like to check how to start your own cult.
Okay.
Uh, was it previously owned? Is there like notes somewhere in the book that I could find?
Nope. There were no
No,
notes
no, no.
previously owned. Nope.
And nothing mentioning like specific places,
Nope.
such as a bookstore. Okay. I was hoping for too
They
much.
mentioned, find bookstore, used bookstores, like the old
Uh-huh.
kind of hole in the wall kind of place,
Right,
but
right.
doesn't quite mention necessarily how to go about finding them.
Okay. While we're downtown,
Yep.
I would like to use detect ambience,
Okay.
and I'm gonna try to pinpoint as we're walking around any funky ambiences I can feel.
All right. Give me a d20 luck roll. Just a regular d20. No
Okay.
modifications, no nothing. Okay.
Jesus Christ, I'm rolling like shit.
You've managed to walk around and you've managed to ping something,
Okay.
but you have no idea where. But you did manage to ping something.
Okay.
So you have an idea that you're getting closer, but it's going to take some more searching.
I feel like we're getting close.
By
I
this
think
time,
we're
it's
we're
noon.
in the right neighborhood. I did the thing where you detect the ambience, but I don't know where it is. I just hurts my brain. It's hard to use.
Sure. Give me a d20 luck roll. Damn.
All right.
Alex, you get 2 pings. And you know one seems familiar, and the other seems like it's from an alleyway that's not too far. They're in opposite directions. Yes. The one that's familiar seems like it's moving. The familiar one?
Gonna
As
run
you
behind
get
him.
closer, you start to feel that this particular ambience, it's like cold. It's silent, and it's most definitely a feeling of finality.
Oh,
It's the difference between a comma and a period. It's a feeling that whatever this is, it's like the end of a book. It's like there's nothing left afterwards. And so you start getting closer and you see somebody and it's oars.
and it's what?
It's oars.
Oh,
And Oris is just standing there and he's looking at both of you. Why, hello.
Huh.
Where's Manuelo? I thought for sure that the three of you would stick together. Makes sense. I suppose that is the way.
It is the way.
So, did you enjoy your little adventure?
Scared, terrified. That would be a better word. Yeah, it was definitely instructive.
Oh, here's a question for you too. Would you like to have a coffee? Chat a bit.
Yeah, I would like a coffee. Can you go for a coffee? All right.
He goes and he starts walking, and presumably you guys follow him.
Yes.
And he happens to go down to what appears to be a coffee shop. It's got a nice, it's an old style coffee shop, very fancy, and it's got a terrace. And so he goes and he sits down and he calls over a waiter who comes by and asks him what he wants. So he orders a drink, and then he looks at the waiter looks at both of you.
Water for me, please.
Bring, or did you want it carbonated?
Oh, yes, yes.
Perrier, right away.
Yes,
Then the waiter leaves.
that sounds fancy.
Ors doesn't say anything for a while. And then after you guys have received the drinks, he goes and he says to both of you, so would you go back to your old life? If you had the choice?
I mean, it depends which one you mean.
Well, I mean, for you, it's kind of a special case now, isn't it?
Yeah. I definitely wouldn't go back to my old life. That was boring.
And you? He looks at you, Eric. Well, before you met me, that can be arranged. You'll be your one and only out. But you gotta choose it now. Otherwise, if you're interested and you want to become more, I've picked the three of you for a very good reason. What did you learn about the aspects? What do you know about the aspects so far? For example, the Honk Mother. What is the Honk Mother?
She's a funny one, that's for sure.
If you had to describe the aspects in one word, what would it be?
Feeling.
Interesting. I would have said gods, but those are definitely fair answers.
I mean, yeah, they're definitely gods. I thought that part was obvious.
That is fine, and that would be because you have an inclination that everything has a reason to be. Think of them as, oh, definitely. They could definitely be called gods, but they're something more. You see, a lot of people don't realize it, but the aspects actually make up everything. Really minute amounts, but that's all it takes to have creation, to have all of this diversity. And every now and then, sorry, yes? Absolutely, yes. They are reality itself. Hmm.
Alan is just like nodding next to you, like it's
Now,
obvious.
when I first taught you guys how to glimpse, and you glimpsed me, what did you see?
I think death.
Oh,
Lots of hair. You know, like clogged in a drain. That feeling of hair clogged in a drain.
well, I suppose I should take a shower every now and then. But yes, you asked me what I am. I'm I'm as you know, as in religion, you will have priests and you will have sort of a hierarchy of who does what. Exactly. Think of me like a high priest. I listen and I interpret the aspect and I help it along. And in return, I get quite a bit. For instance, well, I'm not likely to die anytime soon. Very.
That's pretty cool.
Indeed. And so I am also able to. You've learned how to glimpse. Have you learned how to do the full true sight? The dangers? Indeed. And I'll tell you now, don't ever use it and look at me, because you will age. You will age years in mere minutes.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
Good. I have another name. And when you manage to find that other name, you will have earned quite a bit of my respect. And I'll be right about you. Because I glimpsed all three of you. I glimpsed you not just once, not twice. I looked and peered at your souls, and I saw something great. Something that will allow a certain goal of my deity. Of course, everyone will represent many of them throughout. You can't get by with using just one, although you can, however, focus mostly on one. And so mine, the one that I focus on the most, is death.
Hmm. I have a question.
Yes.
We tried desperately to try to find one of those bookstores. Uh, the real ones. Do you have any idea where we could find one of those? Oh,
Well,
okay.
you were very close to one, so if you can do that again, I'm sure you'll find one nearby. Absolutely. I haven't visited one in years. Not so much anymore.
Yeah, you're like a pro at this point, right?
So to speak, yes. However, pros can't always work out in the open. And my God has a goal. And so I would propose it because I believe the three of you, with enough time, and I've got all the time in the world, I believe the three of you would be able to accomplish it. After all, the three of you want to get more powerful, right?
Of course.
You want essentially the same thing. I wanted to be able to live forever, and I managed to get it. And so I assume you guys want something similar. Knowledge, power, eternal life, eternal pleasure.
Breathing underwater.
Breathing underwater, yes, some more noble than others.
Of course.
So, no. You guys are a special case for me. I don't normally intervene. Usually it's others looking to recruit into their own. But I decided, because if I were to recruit into my own, you wouldn't be able to do what it is that I would want you to do. And I can't tell you that unless you swear. And I mean swear by the old words that you won't tell a soul. And it'll be up to you whether or not you choose to accept. Sorry? Of course.
I feel like that's fair.
So, do I tell you what I do? If I do, it'll give you a hint as to what my other name is. Is that cheating? That'd be too easy.
This is all just a game. Yeah.
Hmm, I suppose I could. So to answer your previous question, I'm the one who brings others to the other side. I'll leave it cryptic like that.
Oh, like literally?
No, no, not the, although you could call me A.
I have a question. If you become like a high priest like that, does that mean that you have a responsibility? Like you have a job permanently?
Of course. You didn't think all of this was going to be for free and that you'd be able to loaf around the entire way through. Everything has a cost.
No, I see, I see.
But of
But
course, it
what I'm
doesn't.
worried about is if I ascend, does that mean any old chum can just summon me and ask me to do its bidding? That's what I'm really worried about.
Well, the odds of that happening are very low. Correct.
Okay,
It
okay.
only ever goes the other way, but you'll find that if you ever you're in eternal life, that you welcome the challenge, you welcome the uh, diversion
I see.
every now and then. Which,
That's
yes,
fair.
technically that could happen, but there's a whole sort of thing of consent and all that jazz. You have to answer the call. Of course, the call's annoying, and so you're very much yes, yes. It's not all that dissimilar to your cell phones. Now, excuse me. You put it in. Oh, you put it in Roll20. I was looking at Discord. I haven't heard that name in quite a while. But yes, I suppose that is indeed what I was once referred to. It's close enough. I was expecting you to say it in English. I mean, it is that you did pronounce it correctly. No, I thought maybe you were going to answer as my title, the boatman. And cheers. And he takes a sip. Now, are you willing to swear by the old words? You can choose not to, should you wish. You're free to go. After all, I see potential in you. I haven't roped you in. I haven't bound you by anything. The only thing that I'm binding you now is your secrecy. Call me old-fashioned. Absolutely. You can refer to it, but you won't be able to tell it to as is unless it was relinquished. It's a very complicated kind of thing. Just know that if you do happen to manage to say it, I'll know. And do you really want the boatman to be pissed?
I would never.
That's an excellent idea. So, shall we? And he rips out a piece of paper from a notebook, dips his finger in the coffee, and hastily scribbles what seems to be a small circle. You see him close his eyes for a moment, and the circle, coffee stained circle, appears to be more real just for the slightest moment. You don't really have a different way of explaining it other than that. It just seems more real than the rest of everything. And he's got his hand in the center, and he gestures for the two of you to place your hands on the circle.
I put my hand on a circle.
Swear that you won't tell a soul other than Manuelo.
I swear I won't tell a soul other than Manuelo.
And in telling Manuelo, you will pass this curse of silence on to him as well.
And by telling Manuelo, I will pass this curse of silence onto him as well.
And he looks at you, Eric. Interesting choice of words. It still should take effect. Excellent. And he breaks the circle. You each feel no different. I want you, and I picked you because I'm certain that the three of you together can kill an aspect. And that is what my god wants.
So you want us to kill a god?
Sounds insane, doesn't it?
I mean, is it even possible?
Absolutely it is. After all, the god of death should know.
Huh. Guess so. How did I figure? Yeah.
Correct. Potentially. I wouldn't be able to tell you how to do it. Because truthfully, I don't know how. I know that my God knows. And as a result, every other one knows as well. Ironic, isn't it?
Hmm.
Yes, not everything is immortal, but things like me can be, through a perspective, be immortal, but everything can be killed. Have? Yes, it has happened before. No, because it creates a void. It creates a void and that void fills. It fills with other entities that have a mixture of different concepts, or I should say aspects, and they take its place.
Like a gang war.
Think of it like when you have a president that's been there too long. You want to change. Next person's still president, no? I understand, but the answers does still stand. Yes, if you manage to kill an aspect, it doesn't mean that an entire concept is going to leave your reality, no. It just means that that spot is going to get filled. That concept will transfer. Someone else will take the helm of that concept. Well, in this case, they're mostly the same. It'll be aspects, really. If you manage to remove the entity that represents an aspect completely, that throne, so to speak, will be available. And so someone can ascend higher than just the mere stuff.
Could we, in theory, be the ones to fill the void? Or
Yep.
is that asking too much?
That is not asking too much. That is precisely what can happen.
Oh my god, that would be wonderful. Could you imagine? Could you imagine? Oh my god. Do you know the deep?
Do I know the deep?
Well, do you know of the deep?
The aspect of the deep, of course.
Could you imagine if me and him were on the same level in like, instead of seeing me as an ant, I could see him as a bro. Wouldn't that be awesome?
The deep is an aspect, much like death is an aspect.
You
And
may know him as
I haven't heard that name in quite a long time. And I'm impressed that you were able to pronounce it.
It hurts my throat a little bit when I do it, but it took a lot of practice. Hello?
Yes?
Oh, sorry.
I mean, whether or not you guys take the bait and decide to do it is up to you. After all, I'm not doing this for myself. Yes. And so it accomplishes one thing for my deity, and that they want change. A reminder to aspects that there is finality. And meanwhile, well, presumably, if you guys play your cards right, you guys get something more. Literally the ability to become a god.
You can see Alan is getting really excited.
So, think about it. You don't need to give me your answer. I'll know your answer if ever you manage to complete the deed. Sure. Oh, asking for secrets so soon. You know, a lot of people have had to work their way for this, right? Absolutely, I'm aware on how to do that. And no, I won't divulge that to you. You'll just have to figure it out on your own. Although, I suppose if you really did want to learn and learn from me, it would cost you. And depending what it would cost you favor. I assume you've learned the currency. After all, that's how we trade secrets, services, and teaching. Hmm. Well, with enough of it, I can curry a favor from another being. Probably for something that I don't do or normally do. After all, I know a lot of them, but I don't know of, say, I know a little bit of the lore of the Hunk Mother, but not that much. She's a real hoot, I'll have you know.
Yeah, she has a funny way of showing her humor sometimes.
Indeed. Yes, and I'll have you know you guys were dirt cheap. Took me one bronze favor. Although I hear she got more out of it as a result. So
What exactly are the flavors? Like the bronze flavors? Or metal, I would assume.
he brings out what appears to be a metal coin, golden in nature, and happens to take another one out, glances at them, spins them around in his fingers. You notice that they're intricately designed gold coins. And then for fun, he puts one in each eye socket, looking at you guys with golden eyes, and smiles, and then takes them off. This is what a favor is. A particular kind of coinage.
I
Very
see.
specifically made. They are unique. It takes a lot to make one, and that's why that they are used as a currency.
Hmm.
Correctly. It takes the proper rituals. It takes quite a bit. And so we don't come across these terribly often. And they're quite powerful on their own, actually. You can use favors as ingredients.
Really?
Yes. They happen to be excellent for particular rituals. But that's besides the point. We mostly use them as currency. That is proper etiquette in the supernatural world. If you wish to have secrets, you must provide favors. Oh, I suppose I could give this one for free. He brings out a paper, a notepad. You have a pen. And he starts to jot down and start writing. And after a while, you see him start to draw what appears to be some sort of circle. And he hands it back to you. Oh, you'll get the hang of it. So, this will actually work with most rights that you do. You have to modify it. And this one's very simple because it's one merely of communication. And so you have a right of calling. It's a very basic one. That's what it is. It takes a component of ingredient. It will burn the ingredient. The ingredient has to match the aspect of whatever you're calling. And then you follow these steps here. And you notice that it seems to be just like a very generic ritual that involves you slicing the side of your hand with a knife and doing a small incantation, letting the blood fall from your hand and touch a circle. The circle could be made of whatever material. Yep. There are some things that are quite right. Yes, it is a very, very basic ritual.
And pray tell, what do we do with that? Is it used to contact?
Absolutely. You would make the incantation. You think of me in a respectful way, of course. And then you say one of my names, of which you've managed to figure out one. So,
Say my name, say my name.
in that way, you'll have contact to me, and I'll be able to answer.
See. Do we put that in
Yep, you can add it to your notes. Do add that it does require it takes ingredient, life, taken because you have to have some. Yes, there are going to be some rituals that don't require life. Most of them will require life. Um, ingredient, life, and yeah, that's about it. Actually, extremely very basic. And the ingredient is the one that has a symbol next to it. Hey, a symbol that you've seen before. In the right, the silent um, introduction. So you recognize the symbol that says, "Oh, do you guys hear me?"
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. My screen just went black real quick. Yeah, it seems so. So yeah, you recognize the symbol that shows that a particular ingredient or portion of the ritual of what gets consumed. Well, that about seems about as much time as I have here. Indeed. Enjoy the bookstore. Say hello to Bob for me.
Thanks, we will. Good luck with
Indeed.
the
Or Bob.
dead people and stuff.
Thank you. He smirks.
Hmm.
He goes and he goes to the cash and he ends up paying. And you see him leave. It appears so, yes.
He pays just like a regular human. Did you see that? It's still weird. Uh, suppose so. Do you want to go check out that bookstore? All right, let's do this.
So you guys get up and head on down. You manage to go down the alleyway, Alex, where you had detected the ambience. So you happen to get closer and closer. Give me a moment. I just realized I didn't add a particular handout. So you get closer to the actual place, and you get to a weird kind of door. Absolutely. So that's how you know you're in the right place, right? There we go.
Wait, what?
That's not supposed to be that big. Not yet, you won't. Cool. I just needed to prep that because I realized I didn't have that prepped. Cool. So you get to the door. Do you knock? Do you walk in? What do you do?
I'm gonna knock. I'm gonna do this.
It seems like that, but the door seems a lot more ornate than usual. Okay. As you walk in, you hear the little chime of a bell. And as far as you can tell, there doesn't seem to be anyone inside. All except for in the corner, you see someone on the floor twitching. All you see is the tip of his boot. Yes.
I'm gonna rush over.
As you head
Not
over cautiously,
cautiously.
and Alan goes and rushes over immediately. Alan, you see what appears to be an obese man who has just recently died of a heart attack.
Okay. All right. I know all of that just like that.
Yep, because you can tell by the dude, he's sweating, he's clenching at his chest,
Oh my
and his
god.
eyes are open, and he's no longer moving anymore. He's not twitching anymore. And so you presume he has died of a heart attack.
Well,
Next to him,
that's
you have a small, short, bald man. He looks rather old, and he looks kind of sad. I told him not to do it. Poor Bob.
oh no, what happened to Bob?
Apparently, a heart attack. He wouldn't quit the house burgers. Anyway, help me up real quick. And he starts to drag the body towards the entrance. The paramedics. Oh no, that's not the shopkeeper. That's just the customer.
It's just Bob.
It's just Bob. Was because Bob was dying.
Oh my god.
It's great. I'm so glad that you went for the familiar one. I was like, oh, please take the bait. Yes, they took the bait, because then I could pull that joke. Because otherwise, you're just gonna walk in on some dude dying, not have any context whatsoever. So, I mean, that was good. Absolutely. So, um, not yet. You gotta do your you gotta go through the regular things. I give you guys a shit ton already. So the shopkeeper, after having dealt with an ambulance that came and a couple of people, they went and they carted out poor Bob. And The short man goes and turns to you. Ah, yes. How can I help you folks?
Is everything okay? Does this happen often?
No, 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 it doesn't happen often. And he peers at you guys for a moment. You're not sure. Alan, do you have your ritual knife on you?
I do.
Sure. This is what you end up seeing. Yep.
A luminous vision.
Hmm. I see. And oh, all right. I'll switch it. Give me a second. I didn't realize it was supposed to be capitalized.
It's the light in the dark.
Oh, I capitalized the beginning of each. What the fuck did you say,
Oh,
Alan?
I just
Did you say that out loud?
no, but I didn't glimpse of sight him, so I don't know. But as a player, I'm guessing it's the light in the dark.
Yes, yes. How can I help you guys? It appears you might be interesting customers.
Yes, we're looking for your special books, and I give him a wink.
Special books.
Yes, the special ones.
All of my books are special. I love all of my books equally. Oh, oh. And how do you intend on paying?
I pull out leftovers of my fish. I have fish.
Ah, yes, yes, that's quite nice, but how do you intend on paying?
I pull out the deflated gold plastic ball. It's made of real gold.
It most definitely is not. He didn't even glance at it. Do you have no
Good
cash?
try. I
No, no, I'm not expecting a favor. Are you kidding? For a simple book, after all, you're not going to get all of the knowledge. If you're asking for full lore, that will cost you favor. But no, feel free to peruse all of the extra stuff over here. This is all hand-me-downs you can buy for regular. You'll get scraps of lore and ideas of where to look and some of the stuff. And if you're smart, and that's the fun part for me, if you manage to figure it out, absolutely, that is so much fun. So, by all means, go ahead and peruse. But if you want the quote-unquote good stuff that has all of the more complex stuff, yes, that will cost you favor.
and do you have like a job for us?
Oh, you're looking for work.
I mean, we're kind of new to this whole thing. I don't have any
Ooh.
I don't have any favors on me.
So you would like to potentially be hired and ideally be paid in favors.
I turn to my
So
colleague. Yeah,
here's the
yeah.
thing. Favors are normally paid out to those who manage to write up works or to provide stuff, either artifacts or services. But very often services aren't terribly needed as much as, say, artifacts, ingredients, and, of course, written work. Because written work is when you guys have found enough of lore to be able to write about it. Sort of think of it like, you know how researchers make reports that they send out? Sorry, I gotta change my accent. This is an old man. My name is not terribly needed right now, but I suppose if you need it, you can call me Vital.
That's a very long name.
No,
Is there a shorter version?
call me Vi.
Vi. Okay.
Vital, yes. With a
Like
D, not a T, not
like the orc.
vital, although I'm
Oh,
definitely coursing with vitality, I know.
so not like the organs.
Oh, absolutely, yes. If you manage to write up something interesting on lore, there's always everything that's used. For example, if you happen to write up everything that's related to a rite and you've managed to figure out how it works through and through, absolutely, yes. Those manuscripts sell. Everyone's always looking for knowledge, and everyone's always greedy to keep it. And so it's one of the primary ways that we exchange
You said something
knowledge.
about artifacts, right? Do you take trade-ins?
Absolutely, yes.
I pull out the knife and I slam it on the table on the counter.
I don't need
Like,
one.
but it's special.
Indeed, yes. It's also extremely common. It's a ritual knife.
Oh,
A knife that's been imbued with the aspect of the wounds.
yeah.
Yes. It's very often used in rituals. I would be able to take it off your hands for maybe a bronze. A bronze favor.
Okay.
Actually,
Yeah, actually. Why not? We don't have
whether
any
didn't you
favors.
mention? I was going to say, I'm surprised that you'd get rid of such a useful tool. It's like saying that you would rather part yourself of all butter knives in your kitchen. Butter knife on its own is not terribly expensive, but by all means, you need a butter knife to spread butter. Do you not?
Well, not really.
Think
Uh,
as if you got rid of your fishing pole. Oh, you don't use a fishing pole. You'd probably just catch it with your hands.
I fish with my mouth like a big boy.
He starts to chuckle. The image is unsettling.
Okay.
I can't maintain an accent for this guy. I'm sorry.
Hey, it's okay. Don't worry about it.
So, are you so sure you want to get rid of something so useful in
Uh,
basic
now that
rights?
now that you mention it, I think I'll hold on to it for now.
An excellent idea.
And if okay, so the only kind of jobs that you have for us is if we write down manuscripts.
Hmm. Or you go bring me back artifacts.
Okay, okay, that sounds doable. How about we peruse a little bit and then we see what kind of jobs you have?
Well, I don't have a whole lot at the moment, but I can probably mm, get something.
I mean, I don't want to speak for the whole team, but I'd be interested.
Mm, I
Yeah, exactly.
I have gotten some leads. I've got two
Okay.
of them actually. Yep. The first one seems to be related to it's a portal of some sort. Or at least it's an old area where portals used to be. And so we suspect that there's probably something there. Of course, whatever you bring back and sell to me, I will buy. And the other one appears to be. Well, this first one is somewhere in the US. Seems to be in Texas. Rather far. This other one appears to be. He's peering at it. Oh, a dear friend of mine had given me this one. It appears to be in Quebec.
Oh, that's rather close.
Sorry?
Oh, for sure.
And
Good
as
point.
he pulls out the map and he's looking at it, Eric, you happen to recognize that it seems to be very close, if not the same, as. So those are the two leads that I have. One in Texas, about a portal, and the other in Quebec.
I think we'd like to check out the one in Quebec.
By all means. The only info that I have is apparently it's an old modern place. This is a recent one. It's a modern place. I said old, but it's not really old. It's it's not often that new sites show up. Yep, indeed.
Hmm. Okay, so it's special.
Well, it probably means that it's somewhere where either a group had managed to disband or left stuff behind.
Hmm.
So it's probably dangerous. Of course. Well, most of the places where you're going to have artifacts are probably going to be dangerous. For example, say old places tend to be well guarded. And, well, places like this was probably because someone left. And if they left probably for a reason.
That's fair. It might be a
Which,
little bit dangerous.
yep.
I'll take the job.
Excellent. I'm glad to hear it.
And we can peruse uh as much as we want.
Yep. And I can help you find something should you be wanting to look for something specific, but
Yes,
I'll
I'm
only be
looking
able
for,
to. What are you looking for?
well, two things specifically. The first one, I'm looking for a way to create ambiances.
Oh, I wouldn't be able to tell you that. All of the stuff that is very direct is going to be all of my good stuff. Everything I have out here is all the stuff that hasn't been sifted through yet.
Oh, I see.
I've organized them by aspect, so to speak, as much as I could. And so I'd maybe be able to point you in the right direction for, say, maybe this book would be more towards a particular aspect than another.
Right. Well, yes, I do like the aspect of the deep a little bit more. It's my favorite.
Oh,
As you can tell, perhaps I'm very wet.
you're very what? White?
No, I'm very wet, very
Oh,
damp.
indeed, yes. And you, sir, is there anything you were looking for? Oh, a connoisseur. And he smiles. The aspect of the light and the dark is the aspect of knowledge. So you would like to learn about that, eh? Well, these tend to be the ones I tend to part with the least. It happens to be what I'm most interested in, but over here in this section seems to be a decent amount of stuff that I haven't perused yet through. I will, of course, if you manage to figure out quite a bit, I will pay for the knowledge that you find. Absolutely. You'll have done the work for me. After all, that's what I do. I go through and I peruse. Of course. A lot of these are going to be similar. You probably might find glimpses of stuff that would either refer to rights or different beings and how to deal with them, what to watch out for. And while the light in the dark is most interested in the truth, using a special kind of logic to figure out how things work. Well, have a look in these. You can probably pick up any one of these books. I'll
Have a
have
look,
you
see. Have a look a Rooney. A look
It's
a
60
look a
bucks a
do.
book, by the
A
way.
look a don't. $60?
Oh, what, did you think they were going to come out cheap? These aren't just any old hand-me-downs. They're all very highly suspected to have some indispensable knowledge. Sources of that. Well, I can guarantee you that they do because have a look at them.
To be fair, $50 is
So
not
you
expensive
glimpse
for a
of true
book.
sight? You glimpse of true sight, and you know that it definitely has the aspect of the light and the dark. That's your guarantee. So, 60 bucks a book. After all, I have to eat.
The fuck?
He looks at you. I see. You're really looking to compile quite a bit, aren't you? He takes 300 of it and he hands you 5 books. That is the selection that I haven't gone through yet. Unless you wanted some from a different aspects. Helen?
Yes.
I'm saying
Uh,
this as DM just to know whether or not you had anything to say.
uh, I'm just gonna poke Eric, and we're gonna be like, "Hey, so I don't carry money usually. Do you? Oh, thank you, thank you. That's embarrassing." And then I'm gonna turn to the bookseller.
Okay.
I already forgot his name. Jesus Christ, what the fuck?
Vital?
Uh, yes, vital organ. Yeah, you're right. See it. Vidal.
Vidal.
Okay, and I'm gonna ask him for anything he has on the deep,
Okay.
the aspect of the deep.
He goes and he peruses through a couple of them and he's like, oh, well, this one over here. And this one over here. And finally, this one right over here. I've got 3 of
Okay.
them.
I I I turn to Eric. Is that okay? Just to make sure. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I'll take them.
Okie doke. So he rings you guys up and you guys have your books. And he looks to you guys and says, well, was there anything else I can help you with?
Do you have the did he already gave us the address to for the job?
Yes. He had
Okay.
given you a suspected area.
Okay.
to look. No problem. I believe it'll be more fruitful once we figure out what you learn.
Yes, thank you very much. I'll let you know whatever I learn. Oh, by the way, did you? I mean, you probably haven't seen any uh weird looking aquatic people
No, no, I
recently?
haven't.
Okay.
Very few of your kind show up here.
Oh, I see. You can see through my disguise. How very uh astute of you.
Thank you.
And I'm gonna remove my glasses and I'm gonna wink with, my regular eyes.
He winks back.
Look with your special eyes. And I'd be like, okay, well, let me know if you hear any word on the street about that because I'm looking for them.
Okay.
Other
Will
than
do.
that, we'll do that job for you and we'll get back to you. Try to avoid people with heart attacks, okay?
I will. I most definitely will.
Chulado. That
So
means
he sees you
goodbye.
off, and you guys head out.
Yes.
And this is where we're very likely going to be cutting it. Give me a moment.
Okay.
Actually, I do need to have you guys do something for me. Give me a minute. I need Kiki. I need you to roll three d20s,
Okay.
and Alex, you're gonna roll five d20s. Oh, interesting. Indeed, that will. That's okay. We always do a recap anyway.
Test, test. Okay. Now the bars are moving. I probably should have noticed that 2 hours earlier. I just wasn't looking at my recording software. But I sure hope that it's just a glitch. Hello?
Oh shit! I just noticed you have a nat 20 in one.
I do.
Sorry. Yes, you were saying that was just a glitch.
Well, I don't know how the recording is going to be until I press stop recording.
This.
I just hope that it's not going to be me muted all the time. It's going to be super fucking awkward.
No kidding.
Works now. We'll see.
Oh Jesus.
Okay. So, end of session for today, but anything we need to know about those D20 rolls or not now?
Nope. That just lets me know what is that with the contents of the books that you bought.
Well, the 3 is probably Garbo that Alan rolled. My 9s are probably not that great. The 18s and the 20 I think will be interesting.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Guessing we're gonna get
Yep.
live
You'll
information.
you'll see eventually.
When we start compiling lore from those books. Woo! Okay. Thank you.
Excellent. Have yourselves an excellent night.
All right. Next session in 2 weeks again.
Potentially next week.
Potentially next week. Okay.
Ooh,
Keep us
Just to
all
get
informed.
right.
Shima in.
Actually,
And because I already have everything that I had planned, like there's like I can go. I don't need much prep at all.
Okay. Well, also
It's gonna depend
we
more
can't
on
do
school.
session in 2 weeks because in 2 weeks is the chalet.
I mean,
Yeah,
we can.
also.
I mean,
Oh, we could do it at the chalet.
we could, but it would be kind of dull for the rest of the gang unless they're okay with doing their own thing.
Right.
Indeed.
I mean, I'd be down for a session in person, but I don't know how feasible that would be just for the logistics of keeping everyone entertained.
Also, it would have to be on Roll20,
Because your assets and
Yeah.
everything.
ideally. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
internet over there?
Yeah,
Ew.
not a great connection.
It's that or I print everything, which would be, I mean, it would be doable, but
Printing in the 21st century?
I have a printer at work.
Yeah, people at my current job, the one I got like a year ago now, they still use faxes a lot, which has me baffled.
Jesus.
Yeah, I
Yep,
know.
still happens. Anyway, have yourselves an excellent night. I gotta get going.
Yeah, I will go to bed myself.
Bye-bye.
Good night, people.
GG's.
Still praying the recording's not weird. Bye.